Morning, everyone. It's 14th of August, and this is the SWEC meeting for the month of August. Minutes are available for review and additions, corrections. I guess we should do a motion for
I'll get the motion. Second.
comments, additions, corrections. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Hearing none, motion is approved. And presentation, we're starting with December.
Great,
Get you in and out of here quick.
yes. On the list. All right, second quarter spending overview. It had an expected spending amount of 61.3 million, or 29% of our $150 million revised budget. Actual spending through June 30th was over 57 million, thus underspending according to the projection by 4.1 million. For our second quarter revenue overview, we have an expected revenue amount of 62.7 million, or 31% of our $142.4 million revised budget. Actual revenues through June 30th were 54.3 million, thus incurring a revenue shortfall of 8.4 million according to the projection. Alan, we can skip this slide 6. For our countywide under revenues, solid waste, as mentioned in the first quarter, had under revenues directly tied to grant funding and a lack of expenditures. The department has not spent any funds for the hazard mitigation plan, the septic grant, or MVED greenhouse gas inventories, directly affecting revenues that would be accounted for in this line. Additional information regarding the lack of expenses to be discussed on the next slide, which will be in conjunction with the under revenues previously discussed. The bulk of underspending is due to the same 3 grants. Tammy has stated that the underspending is expected to change as the hazard mitigation plan consultant quarterly invoice should be en route. Property owners will be finishing up septic projects, and they just received the first quarterly invoice from MVED. There's also decreased tonnage from the storm damage, and the June adjustments for Casella contract have yet to be booked, all affecting contractual spending. For our position overview, the county accounted for 508 employees on payroll at the end of the second quarter. This included an overall total increase of 19 staff. Solid waste saw no changes in their staffing levels. Our vacancy rate currently stands at 20%, and of our 570 budgeted positions, 116 are vacant, which is an increase of 5 vacant positions from the first quarter. Our highest number of vacancies are seen in DSS, the Sheriff's Department, and Highways, which account for 11% of the overall vacancy rate. Budget changes in the second quarter now show $238,000 being moved from contingency, with $94,000 worth of budget changes occurring in solid waste. As for our watch list, there are currently no pending items for SWEC on the 2025 watch list. For the strategic plan, SWEC departments have completed 51% of their strategic plan initiatives by the end of the second quarter. 11, or 100% of these essential activities are on track. As for our timeline, third quarter presentations will be given to committees in November. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. strategic plan quarterly program update.
Okay, I gave the same presentation in IGA, so I'll say the same thing to them. I'm gonna do something a little bit different than projecting the clear plans. I provided you all the printout from clear plans, but I'm gonna take the time to present what I think are the highlights. The presentation you received will also have the planning and public transportation weights and measures side of things. I thought if you're interested in seeing the other components, of what we do, if you want to take a look at those too, but I will only go to the slides when I present that pertain to SWEC. So we do have a couple changes to our outcomes and essential activities. One of the things that we did was we added a fourth priority outcome to planning to reflect the work that we do on the planning side of things that is overseen by SWEC. So we created a new priority outcome that states the outcome is to foster the responsible use of Otsego County's land and resources. And then we added 3 essential activities under that. So help sustain agricultural development and farmland conservation, support the development of sustainable, resilient communities, and protect and promote natural resources and outdoor recreation. And those 3 we feel covers all of the things that we bring through this committee, from our ag district to climate smart, clean energy, our snowmobile grants, kind of encompasses all of that work. So then we're more able to clearly report on that to you quarterly. And so to report on that outcome for Q2, we attended an Ag and Farmland Protection Plan meeting at Cornell Cooperative Extension. We started meeting with some of our community partners about getting prepared for the update of our existing plan that'll need to happen in the next couple of years. So we started to have those conversations. We coordinated with Ag and Markets on developing feedback for the Butternut Road Solar Project that's proposed in Richfield, to try to provide Richfield some additional information and support on that. We kicked off our hazard mitigation plan with Tetra Tech, and so there's been a number of outreach items since Q2 that you may have seen come through our office. So that is well underway. We kicked off the Climate Smart Communities Greenhouse Gas Inventory Project with MVED. We've had a few meetings with all of our community partners, and the municipalities that are participating all have draft government operations greenhouse gas inventories in hand to review. So then we'll be working towards doing the community level greenhouse gas inventories. We're doing a lot of data gathering right now for that. The Climate Smart Communities Task Force convened twice during the Q2. There's plans to have some additional meetings in the fall. We also facilitated the septic grant program. I believe, I'm trying to remember the number off the top of my head. We have about 12 to 14 open projects out there. So really, we've seen a huge increase in participation in the septic program this year, which is really great. We get those funds spent down, and the governor just announced that they're going to be doing another round of this program. They have not communicated yet to us how much more funding we're getting, or if they're expanding the areas that they'll allow that program for. But as soon as we know more, we'll let you know. During the Q2, Kevin Musser and Levi Anderson presented at OCCA EarthFest and also at the Southern Tier 8 Sustainability Meeting to share information about our natural resources inventory, similar presentation that you all received some months ago. Submitted our snowmobile trail grant applications, and we're also participating in the Otsego Lake 9E plan, and there's a public meeting coming up for that soon. We did share that on our Facebook page. So now I will jump to solid waste. So under our priority outcome number 1, which is ensuring the availability of local waste disposal options, we continued our monthly tracking of our hauler recycling rates. We finalized the user fee rule. And we completed the storm damage repairs, as you well know, and the repairs to the pumps. And we developed contracts and quotes for our HHW vendors, and that's all, Sid's taken care of since HHW is tomorrow and Saturday. For our second outcome, which is to increase the waste diversion rate, we completed all of our monthly tonnage reports to all of you, coordinated pickups for our various waste diversion programs. We reviewed those proposals for the final design and construction management contract, and we are just now getting some things underway with Delta. So we're providing them data right now, and we'll be moving along with that contract. We tabled at 2 Earth Day events. Kyle conducted several site visits at the transfer stations to provide recycling education, even spent some time on the weekends to touch base with people and make sure they have the latest information. We awarded the school plastic film challenge winners, and Kyle was able to secure a donation from Stewart's for ice cream socials for the winning schools. So that's always it's a nice positive thing. And then we also coordinated with the reuse center, and the plastic film bins are now at both transfer stations. Kyle attended the New York State Association of the Reducing, Reusing, and Recycling Organic Summit in Troy, and that's an opportunity to learn about best practices for organics management. And as we're talking with the city about the yard waste and the different things, trying to kind of keep good contacts for how these things can be best implemented. And then we coordinated with the city of Oneonta and the Cooperstown Library on some recycling and waste diversion programs, particularly with bulk recycling. We also added a third priority outcome. So this is new, and we felt that, quite honestly, through the budget process, that neither of our existing priority outcomes in solid waste reflected our responsibilities that are ongoing with MOSA. So we put a new priority outcome just so that we can document what we're doing as part of that. We've got all these leachate pipe considerations. We want to make sure that we're tracking and documenting the work under that. So we added one, which is to support the responsible management of the closed MOSA landfills in cooperation with our 2 other counties. And the activities under that are to provide financial support to maintain the closed landfills per the IMA. So I didn't commit us to leachate pipe funding. I just said per our IMA, which we've already are under contract for, and that we will continue to participate in the panel that we attend regularly. And so under that, we contributed to Otsego County's 40% share for Q2 for the post-closure management costs. We continue to evaluate the feasibility of the leachate pipe at the closed eastern landfill, and we've attended a post-closure meeting in May. So those are our updates for Q2 for our outcomes. Anybody have any questions? All right. We don't have any resolution requests this month, so we will go on to Kyle's report, and I'll get that.
So for the month of July, for MSW and C&D, we collected 4,117.53 tons. This generated a revenue of $420,850.15. Our rebate from Casella was $4,617.17. And compared to 2024, we were down 137.48 tons. For recycling, we collected 351.45 tons. Our cost to Casella was $34,392.90. We recorded 320.13 tons at Appalachian. And I wanted to note that we did see the change in the processing rate there. So last month it had jumped from $76.88 a ton to 87, and then it jumped again, as Adam had said, to $99 a ton. And compared to 2024, we were down 37.05 tons.
Ask a question. Why is it jumping up?
The plastics were
plastic.
down, for the market.
So basically, the plastics are the only valuable thing in our single stream. And so when they're valuable, they do a better job of offsetting the costs of the other things to process. And so when the cost of plastic goes down, we end up having to pay more. And it is on them to continue to find us the best price and the best location to bring things. So they do need to continue to reevaluate that for us.
Is that shipped out of the country?
I don't know. I don't know about this facility.
So most of it shipped out.
That's right.
That's what you hear. I don't know if it's true or not.
I don't know if it's still.
Yeah, historically, it was, certain facilities have different connections, and sometimes with the paper in particular, there can be local markets for that, but plastic, I think by and large is shipped out, but I'm making a note to actually ask Adam for that breakdown if we can get it.
Just curious. Thanks.
Comment. I had just recently read an article about how valuable aluminum can be with the tariffs coming in on imported aluminum. So how important domestic recycling of aluminum could be. And I know that a lot of aluminum cans go through the 5-cent process. But is there other aluminum that we could be capturing that comes through the regular stream of garbage, and would that be, I feel like it would be valuable for us to find out what we might be able to do with that.
And sorting that from the single stream.
Yeah.
So,
Like aluminum
Yeah.
foil, aluminum
like what we
pans.
do with cardboard
Yeah.
and glass separation.
Just because this article did say that it's a thing that we can do domestically to help our aluminum industry.
Yeah, I'll look to see if there's a local market around.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Wouldn't that go through auto pressure?
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, so
Just do more separation options. Are we slowly going back to having to separate?
Basically, I was just thinking the same thing.
All right.
Always seemed kind of foolish not to be separating all along anyway. I mean, I know it all goes in, but then they separate it somewhere else.
Yeah.
So they make the money on it instead of us.
Right. Exactly.
Lot of aluminum that's in automobiles today. Transmissions, they're all, everything's loaded with aluminum. There ought to be some market for it.
Oh, there is. I mean, you're not auto crusher, but they separate all that stuff.
That's right.
electronics, we did not have any reports for the month of July. I have not received an invoice yet from our vendor. So I will have that at the next meeting. For cardboard, we collected 5.1 tons for the month of July, which gave us a savings of $18.74 a ton. For glass, at the northern transfer station, we collected 2.06 tons. This gave us a savings of $5.05 a ton. And at the southern transfer station, we collected 5.47 tons. And this gave us a savings of $65.30 a ton. For food waste, we collected $4 in compost revenue. For mattresses, we collected 277 units. We sent 6.46 tons to Triad, and our subsidy cost was $1,385. For books at the Northern Transfer Station, we sent out 1.01 tons, and at the Southern Transfer Station, we sent 2.21 tons. For metal, we sent 16.5 tons to Otsego Auto Crushers from Southern Transfer Station and 8.2 tons from the Northern Transfer Station. And we received our shared rebate of $693. For textiles, we received $48.52 in revenue. And then for tires, I did not have anything to report for the month of July.
Oh, that rebate on that metal is gonna amount to quite a bit in a year. I mean, you got $1,500 in 2 months.
Yeah.
It could easily offset, some of the incidentals with the electronic recycling and things like that. They're small expenses, but hey, if we can offset them, that's great. Soil and water.
Soil and water, we met on Monday. And we are working on our budget for 26. And I just would like to put it on the radar for the county budgeting that the soil and water requests will be similar to our request last year. And just to put that in perspective for the soil and water district, our funding comes largely through New York State, and if we have performance measures that we have to achieve each year to ensure that we're qualified to get our next year of funding. And one of the performance measures is to be funded by your county at or above the level that we were in the previous year. So if we go forward with at the same level, we're still checking all that performance measure. And other than that, we had a pretty routine meeting, and I don't think we have much to report on. Representative Powers, any high points?
No, I guess it was pretty simple.
Thank you.
Is the request gonna be the same for the forester?
Yes.
Anything else?
No, thanks.
Okay. Summer goals.
Under continuing business, just wanted to put the plug in that Household Hazardous Waste Day is tomorrow in Unadilla. We've got business in the afternoon, and then Saturday's the big day in Cooperstown. So for the thousands listening live at home, but so it's out there. So just to keep that on top of your mind that that's coming up very, very soon. And Kyle and I are going to spend this afternoon gathering things. So
Yeah, I saw your out of office message.
yes, just to let people know if you need something from me, it's best to call the office and talk to one of my staff so they can let me know because I will be busy. And then the next item is an update about the leachate. So Steve, please fill in anything that I miss here. But since the last SWEC meeting, we worked together to put together a message to the chief electeds in the 2 other counties, inviting them to come to Otsego. I think we were all on the phone and kind of talked about how the response to that came from a member of the MOSA panel who was on staff from Montgomery, but not from the chief elected. So we put together a response to that saying, if you really need to meet in Montgomery, that's okay, but we do really feel like that this needs to be a conversation by leadership of how much we've weighed all the potential alternatives and whether this one truly outweighs all of those, because we have some serious budgetary and debt considerations to make regarding it. And that a tour of the landfill could be great as an optional thing, but that's not going to take care of what we really need to do here. And I believe those were provided to Ed, and they're probably gone
I
out or
think
will go out very soon.
Ed may have sent them out last night or will today or over the weekend. I was able to talk with the chair of the Schoharie board, and they're all in favor for leadership coming together. So we'll see about that. And obviously, if it's in Montgomery County, we're hoping for SWEC or most of SWEC. But we need to think about this from the perspective of open meetings, but we're hoping there will at least be some representation for the conference. I think the MOSA group, perhaps without adequately considering other options, sort of went forward with this grant idea to build the leachate, and everyone was expecting we're going to get a grant, to fund most of this. This will be pretty easy for everyone. But of course, we got substantially less than we were expecting, if you remember. And so the MOSA group has just pushed forward on this, and we apparently are the main ones with some serious fiscal reasons not to move forward with this. So we're hoping to work with folks to see what we can do on this. Is that more or less right?
And we did ask Montgomery County to please provide us dates right along so that we can get going on this.
And we communicated to both counties this latest thing. So hopefully that rings true with this committee. I think that's what we thought, you thought we should do.
So, will we have more answers? In particular, whether just simply replacing the tank, reduce the frequency of trips and alleviate those kinds of things. I had one item that came up since we submitted our agenda, and that is an update. We previously didn't have any information. We just got some information rolling on the Board of Geographic Names for the town of Middlefield. And so we were able to get somebody from the state Board of Geographic Names to get the federal board to give us some answers. And basically they're one of the Niskayuna Rock, because it is referencing a Mohawk word, we need to reach out to the St. Regis tribe and just make sure that it's okay with them. And if it's not, what are their suggestions? So that is what the holdup was. So we can now actually take some action and figure it out. So Kevin's already reached out to them. We'll see what they say.
Thanks.
It's our agenda.
Who's on there for a reason?
Hmm.
She's trying to help.
That's me.
Oh.
Yeah, sure.
So this is a recycling question. Sure you're gonna love it. So the 4 sea bags that are labeled number 5 with the recycling symbol, it's like polypropylene, I think is the content. Are those required by law now to be taken back to wherever you bought them? Do they have to take them back?
I haven't heard it like that.
Because that, with that packaging law that went into effect last spring, I wondered, because I was trying to figure out this on my own and I wasn't able to really get very far. But they, you can't put them in the regular recycling.
Right.
And I don't know where they fit on a film plastic either, because you can't poke your finger through them
Right.
because they're too sturdy.
So
So
like woven.
they're kind of woven, yeah, like bird seed bags
Mhm.
also have the same kind of structure. And I know that there are plenty of people who would love to be able to recycle those bags if they could be told where to bring them. So I just wondered where they landed on that.
Yeah, there was somebody around that was making grocery bags out of that.
Martha Clairvaux, Hardwick, yeah. I don't know, I would bury her with what I have.
Yeah, let's look into it and see. I haven't heard of that yet, so,
Okay.
well, let's see if we can figure out what the options are.
Thank you.
They use it for sandbags for flooding.
It would.
That's what I gotta fill them.
Okay.
That's for us.
So,
Compost.
so tomorrow, I think you kind of alluded to the time to start.
Tomorrow's 8 to 11 in Unadilla, and then 2 to 4 is our time slot for the small businesses, but we only have one. No, this is, so Unadilla is from 8 to 11, and then the small business collection is up at the Meadows from 2 to 4. But
They all had to pre-register
Yeah,
those, so
right.
that's.
and then Saturday is from 8 to 1
At Meadows.
at the Meadows, yeah.
In case anybody's listening.
That's, yeah.
Detail.
And are they still arriving by last name?
That's the preferred
That
method.
theory?
Yeah.
That method.
We won't turn anybody away, but we ask to try.
The small business is 2 to 4 at the Meadows.
Yep. But they had to pre-register, so if they're not already,
Other people did not have to.
the general public doesn't have to pre-register, but yeah.
We anticipate a large crowd.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lots of phone calls.
The big event. I know a lot of
Yeah.
people appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Motion to adjourn.
Will be adjourned.
Favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned.
Recording stopped.